Okay, what is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the WMMA Today podcast with Drake Riggs, wearing the Santa Packers stocking hat,
You know it.
and me, Steve King, wearing the Salute to Service Packers beanie. Uh, we're late because of me, and only me. You're not late, Aaron. Thank you for coming on. Um, on this week's episode, we will be talking about a UFC Vegas 17 recap with two fights, the Submission Underground 19 recap with Lowen and Spencer, the Combat Jiu-Jitsu recap, which was a lot of fun. There's some news, some good news going on. And then we'll do a Twitter question, comment, and then at the end we'll be talking about the fights that Drake and I most want to see in 2021 for each division. That's including the atom weights. So let's kick it off with the recaps. We'll start off with the UFC Vegas 17 recap with Penny Kianzad beating Sijara Eubanks. It was a hell of a fight. It was entertaining. I'm really happy for Penny. For the people who watch on a weekly basis, know that I think are probably realize that I'm a fan of Sijara Eubanks, but also, I mean, Penny. So last week was really tough for me. Like I didn't know like who to go for. You know, I had like I could see Penny winning because of the striking, but then going to the ground. What if it went to the ground? Cesaro would win or whatever. And quite honestly, it was a pretty damn even matchup. Like wherever the fight went.
Yeah, I mean, it came down to the third round, right? I mean, first round,
Yeah.
Sajara did her thing on the ground, like you were saying.
Yep.
And yeah, just in the end, to me, it seemed like Sarge's gas tank failed her in this one. It seemed like she slowed down a little bit too much towards the end. And, you know, it seemed like
normal for her.
Yeah, I mean, she had kind of there were some fights where that was an issue, I think, but she seemed to clear it up recently, especially on this recent run at bantamweight. But yeah, showed itself in this one, unfortunately for her. But a fun fight either way.
Man, doesn't Penny look good? This is what I was talking about last week. The momentum is everything in MMA. I've said that forever. Momentum is everything in pretty much in sports in general. Momentum is everything in sports in general, but especially fighting because they're relying on themselves. Penny is getting better and better every fight. She's looking phenomenal. I love it.
Yeah, she's really turned things like around since.
Love it,
just
man.
she's just finally coming into her own. I think if you look at her early career, she was kind of thrown to the wolves a little bit early, right? I mean, I don't have her record up right now, but she got the title shot against Evinger pretty early, and you know, Evinger at that point was really resurgent and looking better than ever. So I mean, just I think Penny got you know, they did her a little bit of a disservice early on, but now she's really coming into her own essentially.
I mean, she's 14-5. That's not a terrible record. No. So in the UFC since the Ultimate Fighter, she's lost only 2 fights: Macy and Julia Avila. Those are not bad.
No.
And she only got finished by Macy, which was the Ultimate Fighter 28 finale at the Ultimate 28 finale.
Mm-hmm. Up a weight class.
Right. And up a weight class. Julia Avila, they went to a decision. So she beat Jessica Rose Clark. She beat Betch Crea, which I love. And then she beat Sijara Eubanks, which I don't love. But, I mean, it was – I love to see Penny do well.
The progression.
Oh yeah, she's gotten so much better. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch these fighters do well after like Tough or the Contender Series. You know, we grow to know their stories and like more about them and stuff. You know, Penny has the cute little dog. Penny went in there with a missing tooth. Like it's thing, and then she got ink. You know, it's things that that you grow to love about fighters. You know, and Penny's one of those fighters that there are things to love about her. Her crazy sideshow bob hair. You know, there's like little things about her that are like really lovable to me. And she's doing great, man. Love to see it. Love to see it.
Yeah, deserving of a top 10 next. It's
So I haven't looked at the rankings. I'm actually pulling them them up as we speak right now. I haven't looked at the rankings. This week's been pretty fucked for me. So I'm looking at the rankings right now, and it doesn't look like really any movement, which is weird.
Have they been updated?
So Penny and Cesaro flipped. That's it. So Penny went up to 13, Cesaro went down to 14. That was it. That's literally it.
Interesting. Very interesting. Ha! Indeed. Indeed it was.
That fight was a panty dropper. Loved it.
Even though, was it though? Because she didn't get dropped. She won. That sounds like she would use that phrase if she loved.
A few times.
I'm surprised here with the stats. I would have thought it felt like they were closer than this, but I guess not.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know we knew that Cesaro had like control time and stuff like that. But yeah, that second round, 23-40 for Penny. Or no, is that 28? That's a 28-40
for significant, but in the totals,
significant strikes.
56 of 70 to the 56 to 14 outstruck her big time there, and then even in the third round.
And then look at the third round, 67 of 100. That's fucking a lot of output.
Yeah, big time. And that first round, as you can see, was very clearly for Zajara statistically, and just watching it, like
she was on top control the whole time.
Yeah, as you see there, 423. I was up in the air about giving it a 10-8, because really Penny didn't have any success.
Honestly, if you're into giving 10-8s, and I do agree with 10-8s. If you're gonna give a 10-8, that one could be one of them. That round, it could have been one of them to give a 10-8 to. But then Penny won the next two rounds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, either way, she didn't lose. But
yeah, no, it was a fair decision for sure. Going Penny's way, definitely.
Yep. So, all right. Before we move on, any person you would like to see her matched up specifically with next, Steve? I mean, somebody in the top 10, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Landsberg, is she?
Well, we kind of went over it last week when Macy's right above her at 12. If they ran it back, I would not be mad at that. But also, Penny deserves kind of a top 10. So, Landsberg is number 11. That's fine, I guess. That would be fine. But then there's Yana Kunskaya up there at 8. That would be a hell of a fight.
Matched with Ketlin, though.
I know. Exactly. I would love to see that fight with Yana Kunskaya, because right below Yana is Sarah McMahon and Marion Renault. There's Lena Landberg. I mean,
Siri appearance.
What's that?
Was that a Siri appearance there?
Yeah, she must have heard something.
Well, I don't know if you saw Penny's interview that she did either today or yesterday, but it came out today with our man James Lynch. Shout out to him. But she was saying she wants Rocky, and I think I like that. I think
I
I
mean,
like that.
that's a hell of a fight. I did not see that, but Raquel Pennington's up there at number 4.
Yeah, it's a
There's
big jump for sure.
Juliana Juliana Pena is a good matchup. She's number 7. That would be a good fight too. Number 4, Raquel Pennington. I didn't see that interview with James, but that's kind of shooting for the stars. I think because she's not even in the top 10 right now, and she's going for a number 4 ranked fighter. We've seen worse happen. I mean, we've seen Jose Aldo not be ranked in the division and get a title fight. But I mean,
Off a loss.
and coming off a loss. But yeah, that would be a hell of a fight. I'm down for it. I think fuck, dude, the way that Penny's rolling, she might beat Raquel Pennington at this point.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Stylistically, that one's awesome.
Dude, that's probably exactly what Penny's thinking. Stylistically,
yes, that's she pretty much.
We're gonna stand and bang, and I'm gonna fucking knock this bitch out. That's her style of fight. She wants to swing.
Mm. Yep. So, not sure if you'll get it next, but would love to see it. Love to see it.
That would be such a good fight, such a fun fight. But we'll see. I mean, those rankings are a little bit too high, for her right now.
Yeah.
Another big win, though. Another big win. Then maybe we'll see her get a top 5.
Yep. All right. So we will move on from that one to the other fight that we had. And I don't know if Stamina's in the chat yet, but shout out to him because I'm sure he was very happy about this as he was supporting Tyler Santos all day. You missed it, huh?
I mean, I missed it live.
Okay.
So, Talia Santos beat Jillian Robertson, unanimous decision. 30, as you see on the bottom there, two judges gave it a 30-26. There was a 29-28. Yeah, it was Santos. It was Santos's fight. She pretty much dominated.
I want to point out though the 30-26s I think are a bit silly, mainly because the first round.
2 judges though.
The first round.
I mean, I know that it doesn't matter. Judges don't matter because they're crap anyway. But I mean,
yeah, I mean Santos rightfully won.
Yeah, 2 judges to do a 30-26.
I mean, I understand a 10-8 potentially in there, but not so strongly. I think the first round, even though Jillian was on bottom the whole time, she was very active in landing better shots from the bottom, and just being more effective. Like Santos really didn't do anything on top. In comparison, I think, as we can see the numbers here, quite close and everything, but I don't know. I thought that one, it's not a big deal, obviously, but I felt like pointing it out. Yeah, Santos, though, very impressive that she really didn't try to fight her fight in this. And by that, we would mean the striking and work her Muay Thai, get in the clinch, do some distance striking, beat her up a little bit. She really beat Jillian at her own game, went and grappled her and, just defended anything she had to offer, that Jillian had to offer. There were some good moments for Jillian in throwing submissions up, but Tyler was, what do you want to say, clever to them. She saw him coming, so it was impressive. She was able to nullify Jillian's game and win the fight in this fashion rather than just doing what we knew she could already do, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with all that. I don't know. It wasn't the Jillian Robertson that we've seen over the past couple of fights. She was just
Santos was just big, I think, for her.
Yeah, for sure. Santos was big. Santos is a big girl.
Yeah, and quite strong.
I agree, Yusuf. I agree with this. Robertson is so one-dimensional. She needs to evolve. I'm with you 100%. She's obviously really good on the ground. Needs to work on everything else.
I mean, a great example of that, Yusuf, is her last fight against Botello, right? I mean, Botello was doing her thing on the striking, and then Jillian had to kind of adapt. But by adapting, she just made her. She just continued to go for her grappling, I guess, and go for the takedowns, and it ended up paying off. But yeah, she this fight definitely exposed her a bit more than any others so far, I think.
And that's what happens with fighters who are, again, like one-dimensional, like what Yusuf said, one-dimensional. They're going to eventually get exposed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've seen it in the past before. Fighters like, let's say, Ronda, they can bank on their strengths for so long.
Yeah, no, I'm a big Ronda Rousey fan, huge Ronda Rousey fan, and I'll be the first one to say that she's as one-dimensional as it comes. We obviously know that her striking is absolute garbage. But I've always said, if she left Edmund Shabazian or Edmund
Taverdian,
yeah, whatever. If she left Edmund and she went to a freaking coach
anywhere else,
literally anywhere else. Dude, could you imagine if she came up north a little bit, went up I-5 to AKA? Could you imagine what she could have done with her career at AKA?
Yep, that would have been good. That would have been a wise choice, but it's weird. It's weird because of the position she was in, and like she was winning anyway. So I'm sure her mentality was like, it's not broken. Don't fix it.
Winning, yeah. Well, she was winning because of her. I mean, her judo throws and her arm bars and stuff.
Yes.
But then once she met Amanda Nunes and Holly Holm, I mean, those are really good fighters. Like they evolved in MMA while Ronda Rousey didn't evolve in MMA.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why she's not fighting anymore.
Precisely.
Right. Welcome.
There he is.
Yeah, I mean, Ronda Rousey is like the epitome of one-dimensional fighters. If you Wikipedia one-dimensional fighters, Ronda Rousey's face would be in there.
Yeah, her or most of the Gracies, people like that. Most of the Gracie family.
Yeah.
That's
Where
an
is
interesting
Kron?
question.
Where the hell's Kron?
Yeah, I know, right? He should be. Let's see him in action again. He's got some decent striking. He hung in there with with Cub for a good bit.
Yep.
So, but yeah, man, I think that this fight proved as padded, and I think we can maybe stop talking about the ridiculously padded record of Tyler Santos at this point, because for me, these last two fights have shown that she is definitely legit enough to be able to make a serious climb. I don't know if I can ever see her being champion, but I think she has potential to get pretty close and give people problems, obviously. So
she's giving. I mean, I picked Robertson to win this fight. You didn't. You picked Santos, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Was this the only fight that we were indifferent
on? I might have picked Sajara. I think you went with the Panty Momentum. I think we were split on both of them.
Oh, that's right. We were. We were. Yeah, I definitely picked Panty. I wasn't sure if you picked.
That was a tough one, though. I felt more comfortable about Santos.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that momentum. Whew. And Santos has momentum now.
Yep, definitely. So both Panty and Tyler going to be interesting to see what is next for them. But that was the grand finale of the UFC in 2020, you guys.
Hell of a card.
Yeah, quite a good one. Some crazy stuff on the
what about Wonderboy and Neil? I mean, Wonderboy, so slick. Like his movement, his striking, it's pretty much unmatched.
Yeah, man. People forgot. People forgot how fucking good Wonderboy is.
That's what happens when. Well, that's what happens when you're off fights. You're not fighting for a while. The same thing with Leon Edwards. People think that he's absolutely garbage but that's also because he hasn't fought in fucking a year or more now.
I think a year and a half, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're literally forgetting about Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
I don't know about Wonderboy. They're not forgetting about Wonderboy anytime soon after that fight. Man, it was some gorgeous shit.
That fight was the male equivalent of Holman Aldana, right? Isn't that a good comparison?
Yeah,
You think about it, the
I like
person
that. I like that comparison.
who's coming up, and I mean, Aldana would have got a title. Neil wouldn't have got a title shot if he won. But if you look at the styles and everything, I think it played out pretty much the same way as both those fights and the stories and everything. So yeah, it was something else, that is for sure. But all right, let's move on to the new champ, Mrs. Lowen.
So Amanda Lowen beat Felicia Spencer. Not really surprising. Via armbar in regulation this time, not going to overtime, to win the inaugural absolute title at Submission Underground 19, which was a fun card.
Very fun. I enjoyed it.
It was fun. Yeah. I think I saw a lot of people kind of bored by it. They want to see real jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. Pretty in a gi, Nyla.
Shout out to her.
She's definitely one of them that was not entertained. She was not entertained by it at all.
I really liked this one. I thought this was a good card.
Well, it was good because Chael is doing it right by bringing in fighters that are known. He wants eyes. Obviously, he wants eyes on his shows. It's already on Fight Pass. So if he brings in known fighters like Rumble Johnson and Ryan Bader, or Donald Cerrone and Dos Anjos, if he brings in those fighters like that, then they're gonna get eyes. But if he brings in mid-level fighters, they're not gonna get as many eyes. So he's doing the smart thing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, from a promotional and business standpoint, definitely,
Right.
it's
Right.
a smart idea.
From a business standpoint, he's doing the right thing by doing these type of fights. And then, of course, it doesn't hurt that Craig Jones is on the card. And then a judo practitioner who's never grappled in his life or something like that.
Ishii?
Who didn't really pan out to be anything great.
Yeah, I've never been impressed by Ishii whatsoever, but Mason Fowler's legit. We knew that after beating Craig Jones twice.
He's so good. He's so good. Like, if you don't
Grappler of the year.
Oh yeah, 100%. You beat Craig Jones even once in a year, then you might be Grappler of the Year. But he beat him twice in a year.
Yeah, madness.
But anyway, moving on to Amanda Lowen, she looked amazing. She's an amazing grappler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Felicia played right into her game. I think came at her very aggressive, which was, I mean, I think
that it's the smart thing to do.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It's not on the level of Amanda Lowen.
And not many are.
Like if you saw Amanda Nunes go at Amanda Lowen that way, it might be a different story. We might be talking about Amanda Nunes being the inaugural absolute champion, but we're not, because Felicia Spencer is not at the level of Amanda Lowen.
Yeah. But as I said on Twitter after this match happened and everything, I'm just really happy that that this happened, because, like, Amanda Lowen, she is an amateur MMA fighter, and, considered that she would have maybe got into MMA professionally if she was a bit younger and hadn't already been through jiu-jitsu and all the wear and tear on her body already. I think she's like 33-ish or something, but, been doing jiu-jitsu for quite a while now. at the highest level. And so just the thing is, like, this could have been a fight that we saw, and between automatically the best BJJ player in the featherweight division versus one of the very best featherweights out there in Felicia Spencer. So it's cool to see it that way, and especially considering that usually Amanda is the bigger person in her matches. So yeah, it was fun to see this, but of course, not surprised.
She wasn't the bigger girl against Felicia.
No, yeah, not at all. This was an even. I don't think that
big dude.
Yeah, I don't think Amanda even cuts to 145. I think that's just naturally what she is.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, it's still the same story though, as we said in the last two matches with I and Robertson. Like, unless you have a legitimate BJJ background as a black belt, you're not going to beat Amanda alone.
You're not. You're just they can keep throwing all these MMA fighters at her. They're not gonna beat her. They won't beat her unless it's Amanda Nunes.
Yeah, like a Nunes or a Cyborg who have actual backgrounds, right? Or a Dern or a Jandaroba, like
how fun would these kind of people. Cyborg and Lowen go, because NHL, they have that Bellator thing going on. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Cyborg on a Submission Underground card at some point.
Cyborg Misha.
Yeah, Misha has said that she wants to do some grappling.
Yep.
She wants to do grappling, and then we'll see from there.
I guess so.
I'm telling you, Misha is coming back.
We'll see. We will see. But either way, congratulations to the Pacific Northwest's own Amanda Lowen. I think those belts are pretty sick, man.
I love the black.
Very cool for her, and she is just always fun to watch. So hopefully she'll be back in action soon. And I mean, just speaking of Sug,
I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. But did you see that Chael, he announced it, Sug 20 would be the March card, but now that's probably going to be Submission Underground 21. Submission Underground 20 is happening next Wednesday.
I saw that, yeah.
So crazy. Fowler versus Bader, which is interesting.
Wild. How fun. Madness. That's going to be pretty damn fun, to be honest. Yes. Dude, I'm wet. So wet right now.
Yes. All right, so we will move on from that. And before we wrap up with the last recap here, let's answer, was it Yusuf's question? Do you have a question?
Yeah. Better striker, Wonderboy or Mcgregor? Dude, there's levels of this shit. Wonderboy's so fucking good.
I love the way you answered that. But I mean, yeah, I have to agree. It's just, you look at just how unique Wonderboy is. Like, there's nobody else really that close to him. Like, people have always made the comparison to, like, with Machida and everything, which because of the karate.
He's better than Machida.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. Wonderboy is something else. And if you look at his career, man, has he really ever been outstruck? Like, yes, he got knocked out by Pettis, but he was destroying. He was picking him apart in that fight until he got knocked out. You can say, oh well, he got knocked out. That's the thing to go against. Conor hasn't been knocked out. Like, if you want to go between these two, but Conor, that's just more traditional, and just you look at the fights that he has lost and everything, and who has hurt him and certain things like that. I don't know. I think Wonderboy should have won the title against Woodley in that rematch. He should have got the decision over Till. He's just phenomenal as a striker, one of a kind guy. So I think he gets the edge, especially in terms of like diversity. Like, dude, he's throwing body kicks with his back against the cage as Neil's coming at him. Like, you forget, just he throws the craziest shit in any situation, no matter the space.
He's a really good fighter, and Jeff Neal look kind of subpar.
Yeah. Just like Holman Aldana, like he made it look they made it their opponents look way worse than they actually are. Like we know Aldana is phenomenal when she's on, but just the styles, and same with Neil. We've seen him just wrecking people lately.
Yeah.
But then you run into one of these very unique
He's
strikers,
your
and
buzz
yeah. So I have to go with Wonderboy, but
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
like,
dude. Oh, and that's not saying that McGregor's not a good striker, because I mean, obviously he is.
mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, but Wonderboy, he's on a whole another tier.
His distance management is just insane. Like for a guy who doesn't put his hands up, this the ability to be
He leaves him at his side.
so defensively sound. It's incredible.
Yeah,
So,
he's like one of those old school karate where they just
what wax on wax off.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
He's just one of those old school karate dudes, and I mean he's really perfected his how he fights. He's a tough fight for anybody. I would love to see him fight Masvidal again. I think it would be a different fight.
I think it would go pretty same, honestly. I don't think it would look very much different.
No?
Maybe he wouldn't drop Masvidal again, because he did drop him in the first fight, but I still think Wonderboy beats him. I think that, man, Wonderboy beats most people. An Usman and Colby matchup are super duper interesting. I would love to see those, but outside of those guys, Gilbert Burns, that's an interesting one too. Those top three guys, Edwards, everybody else though, I don't think they'll beat Wonderboy, but we will see what happens. Stamina says apparently Jeff was compromised because of what he said he couldn't see like after the first round. Well, that's what happens. You get punched in the eye, probably. Sorry, man. It's no excuses here.
Well, they were saying headbutt.
Oh, that's right. The headbutt.
They were saying headbutt, the clash of heads, because they both got. I think Wonderboy actually got the worst of it.
Yeah, the position of his was bad.
Yeah. But also he made it be okay, because of his style of fight. Where Neil was kind of just trying to go in and chase Wonderboy, and Wonderboy was just picking him off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pretty wild, man, how good he is, though. So Aaron said Wonderboy will make Connie beg for his life. I don't know about that, but
he says hyperbolic there down at the bottom. But true Stamina. I didn't see the second part of your comment. Irene had the broken foot, so yeah, they both had issues there, but
yeah,
she went into the fight with the broken foot too, so that's a little bit different. Yeah. So that makes the comparison all that much better, I think. But interesting stuff there. So all right, we will move on here, finish up the recaps, because we got plenty of interesting stuff to talk about, you guys. I actually missed this, but I know you were watching it, right? The Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds 2020 Flyweights. From what I saw, it looked pretty sweet. So
it was so much fun, dude. It was so much fun. Man, I love tournaments, like, in general. I love tournaments. But oh, look at that. That's a beautiful picture.
I have the bracket up here.
Okay.
So opening round, we got Pearl Gonzalez defeating Andrea Vasquez with a rear naked choke, 2 minutes. Also, Brianna Stee Marie defeated Karina Dom. Karina Dom resurgence here, coming back. The veteran, one of the pioneers of the flyweight division, defeated her. What's that?
Brianna what?
Brianna Stee Marie.
Oh, Brianna Stee Marie. Yeah.
Stee Marie defeated Karina Dom. Submission, armbar. Might be that picture right there. Nikki Sullivan defeated Jessica Del Boni, who's one of the best atomweights as well in the world. Submission with a toe hold. All submissions here at the beginning, actually. Liz Tracy taking out Paulina Granados with a submission rear naked choke. All of these came under. Yeah. Yes. Excuse me. And then Steve Marie defeated Pearl in the semifinals with an armbar. Liz Tracy submitted Nikki Sullivan with an armbar.
Yep.
And then that was the finals with Steve Marie submitting Tracy with an armbar. So, I mean,
beautiful. It was beautiful.
All finishes there. And I mean, I didn't see.
She's only 24 years old. She's a brown belt. She newly crowned brown belt. Like within the past month, she just became a brown belt. She beat a legit black belt in Liz Tracy. Man, she pulled it off. She won.
Well, I mean, Pearl and Karina Dom, like she beat the toughest opponents to get there.
Yeah. Her bracket was the tougher side, and then she beat a very tough Liz Tracy in the final.
And Liz was beating the shit out of her with the palm strikes, from what I saw. Liz Tracy's made for combat jiu-jitsu, man.
And Brianna, she talked about maybe coming into MMA, but she said not yet.
Could be fun.
She said not yet. She's still 24.
Got some time.
How do you feel about combat jiu-jitsu, like as a whole? Do you like it?
I mean, yeah, it's a unique thing. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't have really anything wrong with it. I don't know. It's a weird thing because you think about, okay, the strikes affect the setups and all that, right? But that's the fun part about it. So
I didn't like it at first, like when Eddie Bravo originally put it out, out there, and I was like, dude, let's just do jiu-jitsu or MMA.
Pick one.
Yeah, right. Do jiu-jitsu or do MMA. Just pick one. Don't bring in slaps. I don't like. I was opposed to it, and then I started watching it, and I was like, I was all grumbling, and I was like, purist jiu-jitsu. I don't like this shit. And then I started to like it when I watched. It was Richie Martinez and his brother were on the same card, and I was like, dude, I love the Martinez bros. I love them already, and they're beating the shit out of these dudes, just fucking slapping them. And I'm like, yeah, violence and jiu-jitsu. And then now I like it.
Yeah. It's like
it was so like it took me a while to get there, but now I'm like, yes, give me the violence.
I think that it's a great thing to participate in for jiu-jitsu players who want to get into MMA, right?
Yeah, this is perfect for like Brianna.
If you want to make that transition.
She took legit palm strikes from Liz Tracy, who hits like a hammer.
Yes, Liz Tracy is one of the tougher flyweights.
Hard, dude, hard. And she beat a black belt.
Yep.
We might be seeing her in MMA. I'm not gonna say soon because she said that she wants to continue to improve on her jiu-jitsu. She wants to keep doing tournaments. She wants to do combat jiu-jitsu. This was her first time ever taking a palm strike, dude. She barely started even training for them like a month ago. And she got into this tournament with Pearl Gonzalez and Liz Tracy.
Karina Dom, that's more, maybe more impressive than all three of them, just from the experience level.
Crazy.
Karina Dom's been around since like 2005.
Crazy, dude. This girl could be a little starlet. I mean, maybe she's just gonna stick to jiu-jitsu for a while, like she said, and but I think her coach wants her to go to MMA, so maybe the coach will be like, okay, let's go. It's time. It's time to get you in there.
Yeah. Either way,
Stamina said, I'm down with combat jiu-jitsu. I never remember it's on, but I am down. It's so much fun, man. It's so much fun. Like I said, like it took me a minute. It took me a couple of cards to really get into it and stuff. And I'm that way again. I'm that way with Wrestling Underground, with Submission Underground's wrestling. because it's in a cage, like wrestling. I wrestled, so I'm not used to wrestling in a cage.
You're like, walls?
Like it's weird. It's really weird to me. But I watched that first event and I was like, okay, all right, I'll watch. I'll continue watching.
That
And
kind of thing is a good transition platform for wrestlers too.
100%, 100%, dude. Could you imagine if Habib Nurmagomedov did that? He would kill people, dude. He would kill people.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah. Yusuf here asking, "What's combat, JJ?"
So, so it's basically jiu-jitsu with palm strikes. You can't punch closed fist, but you can palm strike. Bam, 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 and they get like bloody noses and they get all beat up faces and like their arms
Can
hurt.
you get TKOs?
Well, you can end a fight that way. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. You can.
It'd be funny to see somebody just straight up go for that. Yeah,
It's fun.
I didn't realize that this event was on, but I definitely would have watched, especially with the.
It was on
flyweight
right
tournament.
before Submission Underground.
Yeah, I was watching football, so.
Mm-hmm. I had it on my laptop and football on my TV.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
But I'll be honest, I was watching the jiu-jitsu more than I was football.
yeah, because our boys were done already. So.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. We did get a pair, I believe, a duo of fan questions, unless some have come in since I put the cards up. So
we got Aaron and Yusuf, right?
yes. So, oh shit! I actually forgot to pull them up. So give me a second here.
This guy he's forgetting you guys. I would never.
I bookmarked them and everything, but I thought that I had put them already. So.
I would never do this. I would.
Yep. All right, here we are. Apologies, friends. Yusuf here with a question, a pre-show question, even though he's joining us. Thank you, sir.
Holm deserves women's MMA performance of the year versus Aldana. People expected her to be a gatekeeper. To do what she did at 39 was amazing. Arguably her best performance. Thoughts? I don't know about her best performance. Her best performance was against Ronda Rousey, I think. But yeah, I mean, we talked about it. We both picked Aldana to win that fight. That was a hell of a show from Holly Holm, and yeah, she just doesn't fucking go away, man. She's that cockroach that you can't fucking get rid of them. You can't get rid of them.
The bantamweight. Well, I guess Betch is also bantamweight.
Yeah.
Yeah. After the win over Aldana, I did make the argument that it was her best performance because of just how complete it was and over the course of 5 rounds and everything. But just it's so hard to top the brilliance and perfection of the Ronda one, especially with the finish involved and everything. It's clearly between those two for her best performances, but I think you could make the case for that one. Yeah, for the you're totally right here with what you're saying, Yusuf, and expected her to be a gatekeeper of sorts. She's 39 now, just how good she looked. I'm trying to think of what was a better performance this year, and I mean, I don't know if there was one. Like, well, Xiaonan versus Carolina, that was pretty goddamn good. That was quite good. But if you also want to weigh where the opponents were in that case, Carolina sliding, where Aldana on the up and up, and
100%.
should have gotten a title shot. So that plays a factor. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's probably got to be Holly. It could be forgetting some. There have been some good performances this year. I personally, just to shout out both of my favorites, I did love Kanako's debut against Randa from a performance standpoint, but just in totality, this was something else from Holly. So,
what about my girl Shannon Dobson?
That's a very good shout. Yeah, had some trouble in the first round as expected though. Just I don't know if we can beat Holly. I think he's pretty much got it right here. She was just too good. Unless Stamina's making an argument against
Yeah,
it
he's
though.
like, nah, yeah, he ain't having that shit. He said,
It's
hell
a
no,
good point.
not for that. Irene chose to do that. Holly didn't force it. Yes, you're right. You are right. Irene did not, or she did choose to fight that fight against Holly Holm, which was a big mistake, obviously. Good job and all, but she was hardly challenged that night. Mm-hmm. I see no lies in that.
Ayaka Hamasaki versus Tomo, that was a good showing. I mean, Cyborg versus Bud.
Yeah.
Cyborg versus Blanco.
I was going to say Cyborg because of the Bud fight, but
Cyborg versus Bud is a great choice
as well.
So yeah, Stamina really, great points from everybody here.
Yeah, I mean, now that Cyborg has been, we've brought up Cyborg, I think that she would take it because did we really see Cyborg dominating Julia Budd like that?
I actually picked Bud in that one. I thought that Julia would be able to do it.
Right? Did we didn't see Cyborg dominating Julia Budd like that, right?
Yeah.
She dominated. That was straight domination.
Yeah.
And
then against Blanco too.
And then Blanco, I mean, yeah. Yeah.
So,
man, Cyborg had a hell of a year, to be honest.
Yeah. She's I think, not to get ahead of ourselves, as we do have the award show coming up, but Fighter of the Year
could be Cyborg.
You got to look at this just to not to get ahead of ourselves again. She's like the only champion who has fought
twice,
and both of her wins were phenomenal and for the title. And then besides her, I think that Lauren Murphy's a candidate because she had 3 wins, but they weren't titles or anything like that. And then the last one was against Shakarova, who, just take it for what it is, a good performance, but how much do you weigh it? Jianan, I think, is in the conversation. Hamasaki, if she wins back the title next week, I think definitely she's in the conversation too. I think it would be between Hamasaki and Cyborg if Hamasaki wins, but right now I think it's pretty much Cyborg. She's pretty much alone in that because you look at everyone else has only fought once for the most part. So if Wei Li would have gotten in one more and let's say she beat Rose impressively, that's a different story. But the champions have not been super active this year. So
and it's pretty crazy that a girl like Hannah Cyphers has fought 4 times in a year of the pandemic, and she has another fight coming up. Dude, this girl just wants to get down. It's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you for that one, Yusuf. Definitely a very good question, and maybe that'll be one of our awards. We can straight up give you a concrete answer and decide the winner of the best performance of the year. Why not? Why the hell not? But all right.
No, that should absolutely be an award, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right, last pre-show fan question from Juicy Boy, who is also here in the chat, asking for a big ask.
Or some bold predictions for 2021. You have any? Other than the fights that we're going to talk about? Because there's a bold one for me in there somewhere.
Yeah, you got some fantasy stuff in yours. I mean, they're not predictions; they're hopes, right? But predictions, boy, something that I get. Well, I guess one of mine is actually I would put as a bold prediction. So, it might be the only one. Okay, how about this? I'll give you a bold prediction. Megan Anderson beats Amanda Nunes.
Oh, come on. You're not serious.
There we go. That's one of 2. I would say that my second one will be in our conversation later. But I'll leave you with that one. You wanted bold, baby. It's happening. New champ. Aussie. What you got, Steve? Anything bold?
Well, I mean, I'm not that bold, I guess. I thought I was fucking crazy. But
the man asked. I'm a man of the people.
yeah, okay. Man, you're a simp. As the young ones on the on the Twitter machine would call you.
Ooh,
a simp for Megan.
He's got a bold one. Valentina loses in 2021.
Ooh, Amanda Nunes? Do they fight?
No. Do you see it on the screen?
Yeah, bold prediction. Valentina Shevchenko loses in 2021.
Oh,
to who? Amanda Nunes?
Just in general. Just in general. So.
Okay, so my bold prediction for me is Tatiana Suarez fights once, gets title shot, becomes champion by the end of 2021.
That's a good one. That is definitely a good bold one. Especially it's pretty much bold because we still just don't know where she's at, which sucks. Which really sucks. But
yeah, but that's also how high I am on her. Like I think that she could be a champion right now. Like if they threw her in with Weili right now, I think that she would win. Like I don't know. It's. I want to see that fight. I really do want that fight, but man, crazy.
Hopefully one day, but
I hope so. I mean, I hope that we're able to see Tatiana come back in 2021. I really do. Come on, that's not really a good prediction, Stamina. My prediction: no champ lost their belt in 2020. That ain't happening another year. Drake, you're out of your tiny mind. Yes,
tiny mind.
I agree with you. Drake has a tiny mind, Stamina. You're right.
Wow. No one's a fan of that one. Come on, he asked for bold prediction, you guys. Jeez, I'm trying to please you here.
That didn't please any of us. That made us laugh.
Hey, you get what you paid for. I mean, Stamina's prediction is incredibly bold if he's talking over MMA and overall.
Yeah.
Like just UFC specifically. I don't know if that's that bold. You look at Weili, Valentina, Amanda. They could very well all be champions going into 2021. But overall,
really strong female champions, dude.
Yeah.
Like really strong female champions right now.
Yeah.
Like in MMA in general.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Velasquez, Cyborg.
Really strong MMA champions. I mean, yeah, really strong.
Jingnan, Angela Lee.
Yep.
Plenty. But all right. Let's move it along. Good stuff, you guys. Thank you for the pre-show.
Okay, so Yusuf said, it's a shame what's happening to Suarez. And Stamina said, it's a shame what isn't happening to Suarez. It breaks my heart, man. It breaks my heart. The Lady Habib needs to come back. She needs to do her Habib things and just beat the shit out of these other girls and fucking claim that belt to herself.
We'll see what happens. All right, moving on to the news, which ties into everything we're kind of talking about, I guess. Stamina says, I guess UFC specifically, Bellator belts already changed hands. Yeah, but it's not 2021 yet, man. So we'll see about that. But rescheduling.
Yep, rescheduled fight Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson is rebooked for UFC 259 on March 6th. Location to be announced. This is the fight that Drake is talking about where Megan Anderson defeats the GOAT, Amanda Nunes, to become the last UFC women's featherweight champion. Because if Megan Anderson beats Amanda Nunes, there will not be a featherweight division in the UFC.
Well, if Amanda wins, there won't be one.
There already isn't one. But
okay, good point. Yeah,
but for sure, if Megan Anderson wins that belt, she'll be the last. Like that's it. They're like done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we would get a rematch, and then see what happens. But
Amanda Nunes is gonna be like, "Fuck this! I want to fight bantamweight.
go take care of this belt real quick and bounce out of here. Still
And
curious about.
let me beat this bitch, Valentina Shevchenko, who people think that can beat me."
Yeah, there we go. UFC 259 though, that one. Is there another title fight on this already, or am I getting things mixed up? March
I don't know.
6th. This is the Cruz and Kenny card. I know that. There's some. I think Thiago Santos and Rakic is on this one. It's looking good, but it's a ways away still.
The Cruz and Kenny. Dominic Cruz and Casey Kenny. I was like,
Yeah.
Cruz and Kenny. Who are you talking about? But then I realized, like, oh yeah, that's right.
Wow, that
Dominic
fight's
Cruz
happening.
is fighting Casey Kenny for some odd reason.
Very, very odd.
I don't get that at all, and I'm not sure why Dominic Cruz would take that fight. To be honest, it does absolutely nothing for him.
Gives him a win. That's about it, right?
Does it though? But does it though?
Oh, come on now. It should. It definitely should. If this is Dominic Cruz we're talking about, but we'll see. Yeah, it'll be interesting. He's very good.
Does Anderson have a puncher's chance? That's all I see.
Well, yeah, we all know that this
chance.
striking. She's got to strike. If Amanda tries to take things down, then it'll probably be like the Jermaine fight, the Jermaine rematch. So
she needs to use her length. Clearly, like she needs to use her length in this fight.
Yeah. I mean, Megan hits fucking hard, you guys, and that length, definitely the length. I'm excited. I'll
give Megan for sure. She hits hard. I mean, yeah, she does, and she toe pokes hard too.
She's the only toe poker you've ever seen, buddy. So, got that going.
Toe poker, you.
That sounds like poking a toe. But yeah, not much to say about that. Just glad to see it rebooked. Moving on to the return of somebody. To Nina. Nina's back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. Nina's back, and she'll be taking Nina Ansaroff is back after giving birth, and she will be taking on Mackenzie Dern in April. That's quite a ways away. So we'll see how things go with that fight. I was actually pleasantly surprised when I saw that they were going to fight each other, because I think that Mackenzie Dern wins this fight, and I mean, she'll just keep climbing up those rankings, and I love to see that.
It's easy to forget how good Nina Ansaroff was looking prior to the pregnancy. You know, I think she really turned things around, was climbing the ladder, took on Tatiana. Of course, what happens when you fight Tatiana is, you get beat up a little bit, but she came on very, very strong in that third round and definitely won it. Had Tatiana in some trouble late there. Nothing super serious, but was putting it on her. Nina Ansaroff is very good, and if she can return to form, I think that this is incredibly winnable for her. I was kind of hoping we would get to see Mackenzie versus Michelle Watterson. Don't know what's going on with her, but I'm not mad at this one happening. Instead, a little bit surprised too that Nina, she said initially that she was going to come back at flyweight. Decided against that for whatever reason. That's a little bit of a bummer, just because I like change ups every now and then, freshen things up, get her a new face in the flyweight division, make things fun there. But hey, you can never have enough fun at strawweight, right? So this, very interesting matchup. I'm all for this. A tough return for her, but I mean, you're gonna get a tough return no matter who it's against. It's so yeah. Is the train coming by? Did I lose you?
No, I agree.
No. All right.
Mackenzie needs to win this fight.
Yeah.
I think that she will. I think it's a bad fight for Nina, to be honest. Like, I do. I might be crazy high on Mackenzie. I mean, I am, which I am, but it's a tough fight for Nina, I feel.
I think Nina's too smart though, also to play into any silly ground game stuff. So Mackenzie needs to work on the takedown. She needs to work on that, as we will talk about every time we talk about her, because that is what she needs to fix. Otherwise, the fight will be way closer than she needs it to be, right? So
so unfortunate that she can't take people down. Like, if she takes people down, if she learns how to take people down, dude, she's a force.
yeah, no, that's a big makes her much bigger of a problem than she already is. So can't disagree with that.
Yeah, Nina probably thought that the Dern name was worth the change in plans. She was right. If so, yeah, I mean, I agree that Mackenzie Dern's a big name in MMA.
Yeah, I mean, what better way to return, and if you beat Mackenzie Dern, get yourself right back into more of a spotlight than you would against somebody else, right? So
No, I agree with that. Yeah, 100%. I understand why Nina is taking this fight.
yeah, so yeah, that'll be a good one for April 10th. Don't
So
know
far off,
about the
though.
rest of that. Yeah, it sure
But,
is.
I mean, we're not even in January yet. Well, we are. I mean, in a week, but it's the fourth
Crazy.
month of the year.
Yeah. So good stuff at strawweight as always. And as we move on here, I am realizing that some of the news is related to my picks for later. So that'll be fun to circle back. But here we are.
Okay, so Sarah Kaufman is no longer under contract with the PFL, hopes to fight somewhere at bantamweight. But I find what's weird with Sarah Kaufman is nobody really wanted her, like, before she went to PFL. Like, she was having a hard time
She
getting.
was the Invicta champ. She just couldn't find opponents.
Yeah, I mean, she was a hard time getting fights. So it's kind of weird. Like, where's she gonna go from here?
She should go back to where she never should have left, which is the UFC. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, but there's
desperate need for her. They have a desperate need for her. Imagine Oh, dude, Kaufman versus Panny. Let's do that as a return fight. That's a hell of a matchup. Why not?
I mean, Panny's in the top 15. Sarah would definitely deserve that for sure.
Sarah's top 10 worldwide, I would say.
Yeah.
Still. So
That's not a terrible loss for Panny if she took the loss there. It's not a bad loss. Sarah Kaufman's not a bad loss.
that's a rematch, actually. They did fight Invicta, didn't they? I think so. We have to look that up real quick. But I think
Invicta 27. Sarah Kaufman won by decision.
yeah, okay, yeah. See, that circles back to what we were saying about Panny and how she was thrown to these very talented veterans earlier on in her career. But that rematch, that's a good rematch, I think. So glad that came to mind. So we'll see. Either way, Sarah Kaufman getting just no respect. One of the most underrated fighters ever in my books.
So. I mean, what is the PFL going to do with the women in general? Like, they don't have really a lot for Kayla Harrison. I mean, especially now that Sarah Kaufman's not going to. We never saw that fight. That was the fight that everybody wanted to see. That it just never came to fruition.
Yeah.
What are their plans with the women? Like, are there any? I just don't see it. Other than Kayla Harrison, it's kind of like the Cyborg thing for the UFC before Amanda Nunes came into play.
Yeah, that's a great point. I have no idea. I have no idea what they're gonna do.
Yeah, like, it's weird to me. Like, it's like, okay, well, you got rid of your legitimate second best female fighter. Like, you're not re-signing her?
Yeah. I don't know.
I agree. Stamina. Yes, I agree. There's more to the Kaufman story behind closed doors, in my opinion. She's got to be blackballed or something for folks to all pass up on her skill, experience, etc. I agree. Like there, I don't understand. She's always had that. She's always had that thing where she can't get fights. Like it's weird, man. It's weird.
Even when she was in the UFC.
Right. It's like it just keeps following her, like no matter where she goes. We don't, again, there's more, there's got to be something more to it. I don't know if it's management. I don't know if it's Sarah not taking fights, not willing to take fights other than
who I can't imagine that's the case.
Like, we don't know though. That's the thing. Stamina is saying there's more to the Kaufman story behind closed doors, and we don't know what the story is.
Yeah. Yep. No, totally agree. Totally reasonable. Yeah. So either way, I hope that she can get a spot somewhere. She deserves it.
It's that attitude, like, is it like, is she demanding? Like, what is it? Is she a diva?
Don't know. Yeah. Maybe we'll get some answers soon. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to ask her, but she wouldn't not answer my questions, I don't think.
But shout out to James once again on the show, James Lynch, for the scoop here, finding out about this because he had her on his show, Octagon Outlook. So you can go check that out. I think that was from Monday, I think. Either way, check it out, of course. Always good stuff from him. And Sarah was the co-host, so good fun there. And as we move along, strawweight news, we already mentioned Hannah Cifers. Well, she's not going anywhere just yet, people.
In fact, she's fighting Emily Whitmire on February 27th, and I'm kind of like bored by this fight.
It's
like I think it will be a decent fight. I don't think that it will be anything that is like gives us ooh and ah moments,
Yeah. If you look at Cifers' last fight,
dude, we're literally falling asleep talking about them fighting each other. I'm not ready for it.
Well, it's another case of this fight is pretty much like Mazzani versus Ostovich, where pretty clear loser leaves town fight. How do you keep Cifers if she loses this one? That would be 5 in a row, dude. I mean, geez, it's like I have nothing against Hannah Cifers. I've said this before on the show. I find her enjoyable to watch. I think she's better than people give her credit for, despite the losses, and I think she would be very interesting to see at atomweight, which is where she probably belongs. But you can't keep losing. Right? I mean, it is what it is with her at this point. It's. I think she's being kept around because she's so willing to take these fights, no matter what the case is. Which, yeah, that makes sense. But like, I don't know. She's got to win. She needs to win.
We said that already, though. Like we said that she's being kept around because she's taking fights during COVID when other people are not. She's showing up to work and she's putting in the work when other people might not be, willing to take fights on short notice or to fly out to Abu Dhabi or whatever is happening, fly from Abu Dhabi to Las Vegas. I mean, because she's fought at both places. So it's pretty wild, actually, what Hannah Cifers has done in 2020 in a very odd year for MMA and for the world in general. But I mean, again, 4 fights. 4 fight losing streak in the UFC is grounds for cut, right? And they're talking about cutting 60 people. You would think that Hannah Cifers would have been one of them.
Yeah.
It might be after February 27th if she loses Emily Whitmire.
And then if Whitmire loses too,
then she might be the one gone, and Hannah Cifers might be might be hanging on again.
Yep. Stamina here. Got some comments on the fight.
Cyphers versus Whitmire is a fight for survival. A little more. Zero consequence to the pairing, other than the obvious, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
But Whitmire is going to sub her. We all know it. I don't know what's going to happen in that fight. I'm not, again, like I'm not hyped for it. This is like an Invicta fight to me. Again, throwing back to the Mizani and Ostovich fight, this is more of an Invicta fight than a UFC fight to me.
I don't think we're giving Whitmire enough credit, though. Yes, she's on a slide, but she's better than all three of the fighters we're talking about here.
Is she better?
Maybe not Mizani.
Yeah, is she
after
better
the last performance? But come on, come on. Well, she lost to was it Viana in the last fight, or am I getting mixed up here? That's not a bad loss. Well, I guess how it happened, it wasn't that great. We'll see, man. Either way, this is a fight she should be able to win, right? She should be able to.
She should be able to.
But
sure,
we'll see. It's interesting. It's interesting to see this Hannah Cyphers saga unfold. That's the big thing, right? That's the big thing. But good for her, though. Good for her getting to do this.
One more fight. Getting one more fight.
Yeah. So that's the back end of the strawweight division. It's so loaded, and then you go to the
that's the
opposite end of the spectrum.
The bottom of the barrel.
Opposite end of the spectrum. So, all right, one more bit of news here, you guys, before we move on to the good fun of 2021, as we hope. So, flyweight news.
Yeah, so Montana De La Rosa returns against Mayra Bueno Silva at a UFC event on February 27th.
Same day.
Yeah, same day. I like this fight. I think that Montana, we've talked about it. She needs to fight her fight.
Yep.
And nothing more than that. Fight your fight, and you might win. And you probably will win. If you don't fight your fight, then you'll probably lose again.
Yeah. It's funny, though, because in this matchup, of all things, now we've seen Montana.
Yeah, does she want to fight her fight?
Yeah, exactly. Like, fuck, dude. She can't catch a break with all this stuff happening recently, because getting back to her roots, which she should do, but then you look at this matchup and you're like, God damn, Bueno Silva is lethal on the ground with her submissions, and that's probably dangerous. Montana might be better off standing in this one. So, like, what a mental, like, fucking trip for her, you know? Because I'm assuming, as we've said, in the lead up to her past fight that was supposed to happen with Taylor Santos, right? Like, she should have. I believe that she's smart enough to realize that she should get back to her roots in that matchup that was supposed to happen. So then to adjust to go, like, how do you want to play it? Let's stick with that. Let's do that anyways, because I'm still coming off this not good loss where I did not do that. But then you look at who you're across the cage from this time. It's tricky for her. It's very tricky, you know, mentally, I would say. But it's a fight she can win, just depending on how she fights it. Right?
I think they should win this fight, but again, like, exactly, what is she gonna do? Is she gonna want to stand there and strike with her, or is she gonna want to take it to the ground and work from the ground, where she should be better?
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting, though. I like it from an intriguing, you know, matchup perspective. Not mad at it. I'm just very curious to see how Montana looks when she gets to fight again, essentially, with everything that's played out recently for her. So, Bueno Silva, though, very good prospect on the rise. This could be a big launching pad kind of for her to climb up and make some more noise for herself after, you know, knocking MRB Mero Romero Barella out of the UFC. So, yep, that is.
She's loved for that.
Loved by Italians across the world. Um, poor Mayra.
All
right.
Is ranked number 15.
Who? Montana?
So, yep.
Okay. So yeah, good opportunity there for Silva. So all right, you guys, we have reached the point of no return. No, just kidding. But yeah, 2021 look ahead. Since we have no fights to preview this week, we're gonna preview fights that we hope to see in each division next year. So, without further ado, let me pull up the 2021 picture. Da, 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 da. There we go. Exciting. Pretty. Oh, no. There it is. Oh, what the hell's happening? There it is. There it is. All right. So,
hopefully it's a better year than 2020 because 2020 sucked ass.
Yes. So, Steve does not. You don't know my picks, do you?
I do not, but you know mine.
I know Steve's picks, and we are going to start top to bottom. So that means featherweight.
Either.
What's that?
It's not really fair.
What that I know? I'm organizing here, pal. We get to see your reactions, which is going to be fun. So, and of course, guys, feel free to play along as we go.
I got yours in emoji and LOL.
Yes. As we go down the division, starting with featherweight to atomweight. Let's I guess let's start with mine since we have already talked about it. We'll start with my featherweight pick. Not a crazy one. It's happening. It's scheduled to happen. My pick is Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson, and my pick. The reason I'm picking this one is just because of Megan's journey to get to a UFC title fight has been just so ridiculous, and I'm like, just let's finally, she deserves to finally have this. So that's pretty much my big reason for it is like, I just want to see it happen finally. The journey she's been on has just been absolutely ridiculous. And from a matchup standpoint, as a striker versus striker matchup, I think it's fairly interesting. But I just think it's my pick, my main pick for the reason of let's get it over with. Yeah, she's waited so long for this. She was supposed to get a title fight in her debut. Remember, you guys, this was in, when did that fight happen? 2017, right? Because that's when they brought in the featherweights. So
yeah,
crazy road for Megan. But not much to add to this one because it's a fight we've talked about already because it's been scheduled and nothing too new. I'm sorry for that, but I have my reasons. This is how we're rolling here. So
because because you picked Megan to win.
Well, there's this too. All right. Well, Yusuf, before we move on to Steve's pick, let's look at Yusuf's.
Yusuf taking away my shine? The fuck?
Taking away the shine, man.
The fights I like
giving us
21, Shevchenko versus GDR or Misha Tate. Vacant title, assuming Nunes can't cut to 135 anymore. Holm versus GDR. Nobody wants to see that.
The rematch.
Whaley versus Joanna 2. I want to see that, though. Or Rose. Hebus versus Rose. Jan.
Your fighters are all over the place, Yusuf.
Joanna Rose versus Suarez. Gotta get Suarez in there, though, right?
Yep, I like the combinations. They're quite... There's a lot going on there, Yusuf, but I like the names I'm seeing, so... Alexander coming in here. Good to see you, sir. All right, so it's time for Steve's pick for featherweight, which I honestly love this one. So take it away, sir.
Yeah, so Kayla Harrison deserves better. And better is fighting in either Bellator or against Pam Sorensen, who is the Invicta champion. So either a former champion in Invicta or in Bellator, or the current champion in Pam Sorensen in Invicta. She deserves better. She needs fights. I don't know what PFL has planned for her. Because
if anything.
Because PFL is fucking odd right now. They just signed Anthony Pettis, which is fucking Like, I don't know if you guys even heard that yet. I'm sure most of you have. Anthony Pettis is going to PFL, and he will be fighting in the 2021 tournament. We don't know anything about Kayla Harrison in the PFL. We don't know who she would even fight. Who's out there? We don't know. We don't know anything about it. We know that Kayla Harrison deserves better, though. Better is Julia Budd or Pam Sorensen.
Yeah, no, I agree. I love the pick here for this one, because you could have argued that they could have given Kayla an immediate title shot against Pam, but I like that they didn't, just because it was her first cut to 145. So I think that this worked out nicely.
Yeah, she
And
proved that she can do it. I mean,
yes.
that was one of the biggest questions about Kayla Harrison. Can she cut to 145 if needed? She did. She almost did it twice.
Yeah. So, and then as for the potential Pam fight, that is still very possible, I would imagine. But unfortunately, at the moment, Pam is out. Pam is out until sometime next year, hopefully soon. I remember we talked about when she had the surgery or whatever, weeks back. And then Julia Budd, of course, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna set up something before getting to that ultimate goal of Cyborg, of course you would want to see that. That's a great test. The second best featherweight of all time. Love to see that one potentially. So
yep.
I think this was a great
Kayla
choice.
is deserving of big fights like that at this point. Like, people want to see it. I mean, they have to keep. She has to keep building her name up if these organizations are going to let her. So do it.
Yep. Totally agree. So those are the featherweight picks. We're gonna say whose is better. I think Steve's is a lot more intriguing with his, because it's a there's the mystery to what could potentially happen. So yeah, we will see. We will see. And then moving on to bantamweight, let's get to my pick here. And again, we've kind of already talked about it, but I'm going with Sarah Kaufman versus anybody in the UFC. She deserves to be in the UFC. It just makes me so upset, for her, that she is just being kind of forgotten about, or whatever's going on. Also, it's so weird, like Stamina pointed out, but she's one of the greatest bantamweights of all time, one of the most underappreciated fighters ever. You look at her resume, man, just so good, and she's only gotten better, over time. So I think she can hang with the best of them. I don't know if she'll ever be a champion again. She was a Strikeforce champion, but I think she is a well-needed and deserved addition to the UFC's 135-pound division, which could use all the help that it can get. So, yeah, that's mine. Nothing too fancy.
So going back to Kayla Harrison, I really wish that we would have seen that Sarah Kaufman Kayla Harrison fight, because as Stamina says, I don't care about Kayla yet because she has given us no reason to. I want to see her fight fighters I know of before facing any sort of champion. No fast tracking, and I do agree with that. And Sarah Kaufman is the name. If we would have seen that fight rather than kind of a crappy tournament, because the tournament really wasn't that great to begin with. That tournament and that one tournament wasn't that great. If they would have just made the fight between Kaufman and Kayla, I think I would have been a hell of a lot happier. We would have actually seen the fight. We would have seen maybe Kaufman beat Kayla, or Kayla beat a girl who is very, very tough and a former champion, like you said, and UFC deserving. And then we wouldn't have all these questions. Stamina wouldn't be saying all this crap about Kayla Harrison, not caring about Kayla Harrison. And many other people are still saying that. Yeah, and I don't disagree with them. I like Kayla Harrison because of what I've seen and what I think can be potential for her. I think that she can be a great champion in MMA. But again, a lot of people are questioning it because they don't know who the fuck she is.
Yeah. Yeah, good points. It's just the lack of competition has been a thing that leaves many questioning, which for good reason, right? It's I think you mentioned it earlier, but a repeat of Cyborg on not the come up a little bit, but like after her Strikeforce days when she was in Invicta, that's kind of how people felt a lot about Cyborg and who she was getting fights with, which was pretty fair. So yeah, and then even the case of Kaufman, which we were both very excited for the idea of that and hopeful that it would happen. Like Sarah Kaufman's still outsized by 20 pounds in that fight, potentially happening in lightweight, right? So, but as a matchup, just striking wise, she would have totally been able to outstrike the shit out of Kayla. Just
it would have been a bummer. It's just a bummer that we didn't get to see that fight in the PFL, and now that she's gone, like we'll never get to see that fight.
Yeah. And Yusuf, fantastic question here, and I would say yes to both of them. And I mean, the Holly fight would never happen because I believe they used to be training partners, if they aren't still. I don't know if Kaufman's still at Jackson Wink.
I don't think that she's at Jackson
but
anymore.
Yeah, they used to be pretty close. GDR, yeah, I mean, she can hang with them. I mean, Sarah can hang with pretty much everybody. If you just look back at her career, man, and who the fights that she's had and everything, she is one of the best, most underrated strikers, I think, in bantamweight history. But of course, these are two very good ones, and I would favor, GDR and Holly probably at this point over Kaufman. But she would make it very competitive, no doubt about it. So she's still very capable. And I would love to see. Those are great matchups. If they could happen, that would be awesome. So
yeah, agree.
So, all right.
Again, we'll see what happens with her. We'll see if she goes back to the UFC. I don't know. We'll see. We don't know the relationship with Sarah Kaufman and the UFC.
Yep. But all right. So moving on now to probably the most fantastical pick out of all of our picks here as we go to Steve's bantamweight pick. And I want to give you guys just a minute or two. No, not even that long, but just a second here to just predict what you think it will be real quick, because it's something. It's something. So here we go. Steve's bantamweight pick. Take it away, sir.
Okay, so Ronda Rousey versus Miesha Tate 3. I really do want to see it.
In WWE?
I really want to see that fight. I really want to see them go at it again. Miesha Tate needs to come back first, though, because there will not be a third fight without Miesha Tate calling Ronda Rousey out.
Yeah. Yeah, you're totally right. I mean, Ronda has no reason to come back. Miesha doesn't really have a reason to come back either, but she's clearly more interested in any potential comeback, whether it's just grappling or MMA, than Ronda is. Yeah, I don't know. This one, when I saw this one, I was like, there's a Steve pick for you. So yeah, it's what it is. I don't know if I have too much to say about it.
Well, dude, I've been throwing this out there since
Miesha became champion.
Yeah, exactly. Since Miesha said that she was gonna grapple again or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, my head started spinning. Yeah, for sure. Yes, stamina, absolutely.
I think they should be in a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. We'll move along from bantamweight to 125 pounds now.
Where shit gets real.
Where shit is getting real. All right, on to my flyweight pick, and a little bit similar, kind of a combination of my reasons for my bantamweight pick with Kaufman and then Anderson and Nunes. But my flyweight pick is Vanessa Porto versus whoever the Bellator champion is by the time that they would give her a title shot. Just because such a pioneer, one of the best flyweights of all time, elite of the elite, been a top 5 fighter for years, years, years. It's similar to when Jennifer Maia came over to the UFC, and like she was the best in the world until she lost to Liz Carmouche, right? And seeing that story of her just getting a title shot, let alone winning it, just getting the title shot alone, that's a great story for all the work that these flyweights specifically have put in. These Brazilian flyweights even for their whole careers. That Porto deserves this so much. I want to see it. No matter who it's against, it'll be a good matchup because that's how good Bellator's division is. Whether it's against Juliana Velasquez right now or if they, it doesn't matter. Whoever's holding the belt and Vanessa Porto fights them, it's going to be a good fight between everybody that they have in the division. But just story-wise, that's my main pick here. I think Vanessa Porto has earned this opportunity. Her career speaks for itself. That is what I want to see, and I think is what should happen. It definitely should happen in 2021. If it's not her first fight, if it's not her debut, which I think it should be at some point next year. So, yeah, that.
Yeah, I think if it's not her first fight, then it's definitely her second fight.
Yeah, you would fucking. It better be right. If it's not, it better be. So
yeah. She's deserving right now.
Yeah. And Yusuf isn't happy with your last one either.
It's coming to 2021. We're asking for Tate and Rousey. Yeah, we are. Tate, where is the new blood? It's been 5 years. She's only 34.
This is true. But all right. So that was my flyweight pick.
We're still seeing Dominic Cruz fight Casey Kenny.
Yeah, buddy. All right. Steve's flyweight pick. He a little bit undecided here. He has 2 for us. So here we go. Here we are.
All right. So Sabina Monzo versus Joanne Calderwood or Andrea Lee or Tracy Cortez.
Oh, did I screw it up? Did you text it wrong to me?
No. Or Sabina Monzo versus Calderwood or Andrea Lee.
Oh.
Or Tracy Cortez with a smiling devil emoji because marketability.
Okay, so I guess I did misread that then. But right, yeah, I mean, I like the Mazo and JoJo fight stylistically. That's very fun. I mean, we would see plenty of head kicks in that one.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I'm assuming you saw that Mazo, despite going up to bantamweight for this next one, said she's gonna go back down to flyweight.
She wants to fight. She wants to continue to fight at flyweight. So, yes, give me those fights with Calderwood, Lee, or Cortez for marketability.
I mean, at the moment, I guess only JoJo, but I was gonna say at the moment, any of those 3 fighters are a little bit of a too high step up for Cortez's return to flyweight. I think if it's her next fight, but
I don't know.
Surprisingly, Andrea, it's crazy to realize that she's on a 3-fight losing streak. But she's fighting. Who's she fighting next? I know we talked about it. I'm totally forgetting.
But
I know she's got one lined up. So either way, and Mazo though Cortez is the most logical at this exact moment. But we'll see what happens with
She's 11-5, Andrea Lee right now. 3-fight losing streak. She's gonna fight. No, it was a canceled bout against Jillian Robertson.
Oh,
she doesn't have anything. Does she have anything?
Maybe not.
So since going into the UFC, she's 3-3. So not a great record.
Yeah. A lot of people think she beat Murphy, but the fights after that, or what that was between, hashtag marketable, the JoJo fight and the Roxy rematch. So yeah, Andrea definitely needs to right the ship a little bit, but Tracy Cortez at flyweight, where she belongs. She could very well work her way up. I don't think she'll get a JoJo or a, I guess depending on what happens with Lee and whoever she fights
No.
next. I don't
This
think that
is
we would see that next.
2021.
Yeah, so we could definitely see any of these possibilities with her towards the end of the year.
Mazo did say that she wants to be active. She's young. She wants to stay active. I don't see Calderwood at the second half of 2021 being a crazy fight
Oh, to make, yeah. Mm-hmm.
to make. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if she can be super active, I mean, she's already got the one at bantamweight lined up. Get that out of the way. Win or lose, go back down to flyweight. Fight somebody possibly in the top 15 and start climbing from there.
Well, you would hope that she wins her fight.
Yeah.
And then goes back down to flyweight, and then gets better matchups.
Yep, for sure. So, see what happens there. Interesting stuff as we head into a Yusuf question before strawweight, throwing us here with one.
Well, she's still ranked, isn't she?
Who?
Antonina Shevchenko?
Should be, yeah. Should be. But who should Antonina fight next? Asks Yusuf. I don't know. That's a good question.
Macy Barber coming back.
Who?
Macy Barber.
Oh.
When is she coming back?
I think she's ready. I think she's just waiting to.
Give us that fight then.
Why not? Yeah, that works. No, I think she's lined up with somebody. I'm pretty sure it's Macy versus Grasso. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's Grasso and Macy. Yeah.
That's a really fun fight, actually. Yeah.
So I guess I could see Antonina Taylor Santos. I could see that, which I think Santos would fucking beat her pretty easily, honestly.
Actually, Santos is ranked number 13 now. And Shevchenko's ranked number 14.
Okay. So maybe she wouldn't want to do that then, just because it'd be a step backwards, rankings wise. But
for Santos,
yes. So we'll see.
Andrea Lee.
Yeah. That's very possible. Mid Stamina likes the Santos pick as well.
yeah, I mean it makes
sense.
Yeah.
But again, Santos might not take that fight. I mean, we don't know. Maybe she just wants to fight.
Yeah, I mean that's a name
And
to beat.
a big enough name too. Yeah. Yep.
But all right, 2 more divisions here, you guys. 2 more divisions, 4 more fights. Kind of, maybe 5 here. Steve's kind of got two picks for the strawweights because.
No, I don't.
All right, so my strawweight pick here. We do have one. We're sharing fighters here with the same fighter in each of our picks. But start off with my strawweight pick, 115 pounds. I want to see Weili Zhang versus Zhao Nanyan or Kanako Murata. Surprise, surprise, if you know me. What a big surprise that's my pick. But Weili versus Zhao Nan, that has written itself. Zhao Nan is a top contender now. I think between her and Carla are the most deserving contenders. Make that fight happen in China. Amazing, huge deal, big thing for the sport, especially just China sports and MMA in China. As a matchup, it's fucking very good. 2 Sanda practitioners, phenomenal strikers, very determined athletes to, prove to the world how strong that their country is. I think they'd both be fueled by that. Just an amazing matchup that I think and hope we will see at some point, whether it is this year or whenever. It's something that very, very possible and should happen, I hope. Then Kanako's in there because Kanako, of course. I don't know if she'll work her way up that quickly, but I would love to see it just because that fight was already supposed to happen, you guys. They were supposed to fight at Ryzen 10, but Weili had a shoulder injury. She pulled out of the bout, so that's a fight that I would love to see, and it's got a good story to it. Kanako, phenomenal wrestler, only getting better and better in all areas with each fight. So yeah, of course, those are my girls.
Yeah,
I love it.
They have been for a long time.
Yeah, man, watching them from the get-go. So we'll see what happens. I'm okay. I'll say this: I'm much more confident that we would see the Xiaonan one, obviously, she's at the top now. So
yeah,
but
for sure,
so yeah,
it would be fun too.
it'd be very, very good. And so the thing about strawweight here is you guys just cannot go wrong with any picks, and I love Steve's picks as
Literally
well. So
can't go wrong with anything. Like
this was probably the hardest division to pick for me. So it's like there's just so many different things to choose from.
yeah,
It's so many good fights and matchups possible. But all right.
what the hell? What is
what do we
Stamina
get?
talking about?
He knows how to trigger you
Bro, you deserve nothing.
with the smoke. He's got the smoke. All right, Steve, take
Where'd
it
that
away,
come from?
buddy.
Like what the?
It's because I mentioned Carla.
Like barely. Like you barely mentioned
I
Carla.
just name
like,
dropped.
yeah. All right, so Whaley and Tatiana Suarez versus anyone or each other. Like just fight. Both of y'all
Yeah.
just fight. Like seriously, just fight. I want to see y'all fight each other. That's like the end all to it for me. Like I just really want to see Whaley and Tatiana fight each other. Because Whaley is a fantastic champion. Like there's so much we can see so much from her, like a huge star, but we've only seen one fight from her as champion.
Yeah.
As champion, Tatiana Suarez, like we've seen, like she can be a big star, but she's had that neck injury and it's just sidelined her for so long. And you know she has those comparisons with Habib, and they're very like they're. I love those. I love the comparison. Man, I just want to see both of them just fight. I want to see Whaley fight Rose. Tatiana, we don't know what's going on with her. I just want to see her fight in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy and unfortunate that Whaley has been out since March, not for any reason other than not being able to figure out the Rose fight stuff. You know, she hasn't been injured like Tatiana, so
Yeah,
it's just a massive bummer. Just a massive bummer.
And she has like so much star power, and people are trying to really like her a lot. You know, like they really are legitimately trying to like Whaley a lot. But
it's easy to.
But at the same time, it's hard to because she's not fighting. You know, like she's losing the steam that she had. She had so much steam. Like we were literally talking about her fighting Valentina Shevchenko, you know?
Yeah.
And now
MMA fans have very short-term memories too.
Oh yeah, their fuse is incredibly short.
Goldfish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's what have you done for me lately type of thing going on, you know, and Whaley hasn't done anything since March.
Yep. She would have liked to, which is that's the thing. It's like, damn.
The good thing is that fight against Joanna, we'll be talking about, you know, the end of the year awards, 2020 awards coming up, you know, not just us, but everybody who does.
It's already been getting awards by people.
Whatever, you know, and does award shows or does their awards for the year in MMA. That fight, if not the fight of the year, it's the second best fight of the year. You know, I mean, to me, it's the fight of the year and has held up since March. So, in a year where we've seen some really fun, fantastic, bloody, violent fights.
Yeah, the bloodiest of them all came the day before, the day before Joanna versus Whaley, Versosa and Stoliarenko. Can't forget about that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, just hopefully as soon as possible we see Whaley back in there, and then Tatiana in the first half of the year too.
Yeah, I mean, I really do hope that they get this thing finished with Whaley and Rose, like,
or Carla, whoever.
well, I mean,
anybody.
I guess I guess whoever at this point, right?
Yes, definitely. Just for her sake.
Stamina, I know you're not feeling. I know you're not feeling Carla. Oh, and Yusuf, you too? I really thought that was stamina. Kept on going. Carla facing whaleys feeding the lamb to the wolves. You too, Yusuf. Man, you people, I swear.
I like this choice, Stamina. I think that is an interesting one. Steve's going to disagree, but I like it.
No, I don't. I don't disagree that that's a good fight. I think it's a good fight.
Yeah.
I just don't like Chikasian that much, but I really do like Joanna. So I mean,
Yeah.
and I think that they would put on a fun fight.
Yeah, stylistically, that's definitely one that could bring out the best of each of them, I think. And it would be nice to see Joanna go back to flyweight just to.
Again, that's another
Why not?
person who we haven't seen since March.
Yep. Just doing her own thing. Just doing her own thing.
Instagram model now.
Yeah. So, all right. The last division, you guys, as we get wrapping up here, approaching the 2-hour mark. Atomweight time. Fun stuff at 105 always. And this is probably this ties into the bold predictions that I was mentioning earlier. Because I think that this one could happen. And it's the one I hope to see happen. So my pick for the atomweight division is Ayaka Hamasaki versus Rena Kubota, the student meeting the master. Presumably the bold prediction part of it being title fight and retirement fight for Rena, because that's the only way it happens, is if a belt's on the line and if it's for Rena's retirement. So that would be insane to see, just with all the story elements. And then as a fight, Ayaka Hamasaki, the GOAT, taking on her student, who is one of the best strikers in atomweight history, and just one of the best women's strikers too. We always talk about who the best strikers are on our show, but we forget about Rena because I guess she just what's happened recently. I guess we could say with her career ever since losing to Kana, kind of losing the steam a little bit, but she's still very good and just a phenomenal striker. So it would be a very interesting matchup just to see how if Reyna could pull that off in one final fight against somebody who she's very close with and wouldn't fight in any other case. So that I think that perfectly embodies like the spirit of Japanese MMA, is that matchup with all the elements that would have to partake in it. So I love that possibility. What do you think about it, Steve?
No, I mean, yeah, for sure. Like, I think that that's a great fight. It hurts my heart to see Rena go from MMA, but if it's against Hamasaki and it's for a title, like you said, and Rena is able to go out with a win, I think I would be happy, like, for her.
I mean, over the GOAT and over her master, like
for her legacy, and like, sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks to think about that. Rena's really done.
And it's weird to think about her retiring before Hamasaki too, because Hamasaki's almost 40, but doing better than ever though, looking better than ever. So
yeah, I don't know. Like, I know Rena says she's gonna be done or whatever. Maybe she wants to be done for a little bit and come back. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Some sort of martial art. Does she go back to shoot box?
I'm assuming you didn't see that she did mention interest in the WWE recently.
I mean, I saw that or whatever, but and I will give her credit that Asian women entertainers in WWE are huge hits with WWE nerds.
That's like just Asuka, right? That's like it.
Asuka and
Kyrie.
And yeah. And and they have a following. So
Yeah.
just imagine how big Rena would be if she was.
I mean, she's already a superstar, right? So
in Japan for sure.
yeah, massive. So
And they have, and Japan legit has one of the biggest pro wrestling promotions in the world in
New Japan.
New Japan
Mhm.
Pro Wrestling. So I mean, she can go into New Japan Pro Wrestling, become a star, and then go to WWE without and become a bigger star than Ronda Rousey.
I don't know about that, but I mean, the potential, I guess, is there.
In WWE, she can be a bigger star than Ronda Rousey in WWE. Uh, fans think that Ronda Rousey was just given the titles and
Yeah,
you know,
that is
all
true.
that shine in WWE. They're not. They didn't love Ronda Rousey
Mhm.
like they loved Becky Lynch.
Well, I mean, that's an impossible comparison. Nobody,
The man.
nobody reached the same level of the man.
We're losing our viewerships.
Oh,
like,
totally.
right now. They're like, "What the fuck?
Yeah, what is this shit?
What are they talking about? What is this fake crap?"
What is this bullshit? And yeah, Hamasaki versus Rena though. That's the fight. that's a total dream fight. But hey, that's what we're doing here. What we want to see most in each division. So I love that one.
Yeah.
And Steve's pick also with the title on the line. We would
Yes.
imagine. So
Yes.
here we are.
Yes. So I really want to see Alicia Zapatella. Put up her title against Elise Anderson. I think it would be a fun fight. Elise she's no joke, man. She is no joke, that girl. Again, going to my thing, marketability. You have it with Alicia Zapatella and Elise Anderson. You have it all. Alicia Zapatella is a very, very good fighter. She's the champion. Elise Anderson is still only like 24 or 25 or something like that. Very young. She only has one loss, I think, in her career. She fights out of Extreme Couture. And I think that they're gonna fight. And I hope it's in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, Elise has been making that climb for a while now, been somebody to watch, and she hit that, it was a sweet flying triangle or something in one of her more recent fights, if I'm remembering correctly. Some kind of flying submission. It was really, really good.
Triangle. There's a triangle against Stephanie Alba.
Right. Yeah, that was awesome. So, yeah, she's improving with each fight and definitely could, be due for a title shot at some point, depending on how active she did she fight this year at all? Was there one earlier? Did that fight, the Alpha fight, happen this year? Was that like early on?
Yeah, she only fights once a year.
Okay, so got to pick that up if she wants to get the title shot, but she's on the right track when she fights, obviously. So
yeah, she really needs to fight. I mean, 2020 was tough, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what her deal is. She's only 25 years old, so this is the time. Go time is now. Go time is now. Time to go. Let's go, Elise. You got that big fight against Alicia Zapatella over your head now. I want to see that fight.
To springboard off of your pick here, I almost went with Alicia Zapatella, Invicta title fight defense against Kana Sakura rematch.
I know.
If Kana's the champion.
Before I wrote Elise Anderson, I almost said that, but because
too many variables for that.
It's too much. Yeah, it's just like it's too much,
Yeah.
At least with Elise, we need to see her fight one time and get a big win, and then maybe we'll see her fight Alicia because I mean it's Invicta and they like to throw people into championship fights.
Yeah. I mean, if you do Anderson versus like Del Boni or Pereira, whoever wins any of those, you could say get the next title shot, right? Or you could even, if you want to do Anderson versus Cummins too, right? I mean, Cummins wouldn't get the title shot with a win over Anderson there, but she was just in 2 title fights, or
if they do another Phoenix series or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. So, and I wonder if they're going to be bringing that back soon with everything. Maybe not because of Corona and just all the moving parts involved with that, but
yeah, they were not in Kansas City, right, for the Phoenix series. Where were they?
I think they were. I think
Were they?
so. Yeah, I don't think they've left Kansas City in a good while. So, but yeah. So I think that just about does it, you guys. Those are Steve and I's picks for what we want to see most in each division 2021. Thought it would be a fun thing to do since no fights to look forward to this weekend, which good to have a little break every now and then, especially if you're somebody who writes a whole bunch, like maybe myself, and I like to do things outside of watching fights all the time, as much as I do love it. But yeah, this was a fun little thing. Always like to do something unique. Oops, I'm leaving this out. So yeah, tell us which fights you'd like to see most, you guys. I know some Yusuf has dropped his, but even for viewers who will watch this after we are off the air here, drop them in the comments. Let us know. And don't forget to follow us, like, share, and subscribe, all that stuff. Hit the notification bell so you know that we're going live or when there's new videos from the scrap in general. Always good
Definitely
to
subscribe to them.
Yeah, plenty of stuff going on. And Mr. James Lynch, he has plenty of interviews that go up here on the channel as well, who we've name dropped 3 times now, I believe, if we were counting. But he does amazing stuff, so James is awesome to check out his stuff. But Steve, man, Christmas coming up. Happy holidays to you. Anything special? What's that?
Yeah. I said, yeah, same to you, Hermano.
Ah, yes. Mi amigo. I know you're going to see your mom, right? So that'll be a fun time.
Gonna go snowboarding.
Gonna do some snowboarding. Jealous of that. I might plan a trip in February at the latest if I don't get up there sooner. So look forward to that. But in terms of working and MMA stuff, yesterday you guys dropped episode 6 of Broaden Horizon, the last episode of the year. I had on 3 of the atomweight competitors that are competing at Rising 26 next week, which we will break down ahead of time, of course. Miyu Yamamoto, who is taking on Hamasaki for that vacant title at Rising 26, of course. And then Kan Asakura, who we also just talked about, taking on Ai Shimizu. I talked to all 3 of them, so very fun and interesting stuff on that episode. Go check it out at mymmanews.com, on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Drake Riggs. And you can also check out episode 5 of Broaden Horizon if you want to get yourself real ready for Rising 26, because Kyoji Horiguchi and Kyohei Hagiwara were also on that one. So plenty of Rising content for you guys and the big, massive end of the year card. I'm so excited for it. The full lineup is out now. It is all set. They did a fantastic job putting it together for what they had to work with. Tension is, he's competing, of course. Can't have a New Year's Eve card without Tension. Both Asakura brothers, Kan Asakura. Minowa Man's back. And Minowa Man's also on that episode 6 as well. So that was fun stuff. Check that out. He's opening the card, actually. The second fight I got of the night.
Pretty wild. Yeah.
Gonna be nuts. Don't miss that. We will break it down next week, at least the women's fights, of course. And I think that is about it. So happy holidays to everybody. And I'm not going to wish you Happy New Year yet, because we will do that next week. So yeah, I think that just about does it. So
yep. Thank you to Stamina, Yusuf, Aaron, and
Alexander popped in for a minute.
Of course, made his one little.
As he does. As he does.
But he watches, so
yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you to all y'all. Hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas if you celebrate. If not, then have a great weekend.
And we will see you next week.
Yep. Later, guys.
Peace.